Here are 15 of the best Ask Reddit stories for today. I hope you enjoy and remember to subscribe. It really helps us out. We post new videos every day.
Non-Americans, what do you think every American person has in their house? A switch that when you flick it turns your sink into a blender. This is the most wholesome I've felt about my country in a while. Lol, yes, peanut butter, air conditioner, disposal in the sink. I am so surprised with this whole top-loading washing machine answer. Why is this abnormal? Apparently Americans are rather fond of pickles and peanut butter. Is that a fair assumption to make? Edit, I meant either or not both at the same time, skull. This thread is really making me question if European houses are just empty boxes with a singular bag of tea in them. Oh, the washing machines where you put everything in the top. This fascinated me when we visited the States. They're huge. As an American I was expecting guns, but ranch dressing hurt for some reason. Came here expecting gun comments only to discover instead that everyone has apparently walked through my house.
My wife went out last night, and didn't come home until this morning. This is horrible. I'm furious right now, but I'm also depressed as heck. I know what I have to do, it's just killing me that I have to do it. It's fresh, and it hurts a lot. My wife didn't come home last night. She went out with a couple of girlfriends, which is pretty normal for her. She's normally back around 2 a.m. on these nights, so I waited up. Around 2:30, I called to check in. She answered, and I could hear people in the background. She told me they went to a party but were leaving in a couple of minutes. She wasn't home by 3, so I texted. It delivered, but no reply. Around 4 a.m. I called again. It rang a couple of times before she sent me to voicemail. My wife finally came stumbling through the door at 6:47 a.m. this morning. I know the exact time because I was worried. She was wearing a dress she didn't leave the house in, with mesh leggings I've never seen either. The leggings had clearly been torn, and her makeup was smudged. My heart sank when I saw her. My immediate worry was that she had been hurt. She only shook her head no when I asked her that. I asked her what she had been doing then. She only said that I knew what she had been doing, and that kind of confirmed what the voice in the back of my head had been screaming since she walked in. My wife cheated on me last night. I asked her who it was. She shrugged almost casually and said it was somebody they met at the club. She went back to his house and hooked up with him, then Ubered home. She then said she didn't want to fight and just wanted to sleep, so that's what she did. She's still asleep now, and didn't even take a shower before passing out. Suffice to say our relationship is over. We don't have any kids, and we rent, so it shouldn't be an extremely complicated process. I keep trying to reason myself out of it, pretending there might be something to salvage here. I've always maintained that cheating would be a red line for me though. I think I need to stick to that now. Are these still selling? Would you ship to Spain if I pay for ship? I don't do international shipping, I'm afraid. Afraid of what? Do not be scared.
I will never sleep exposed again. I, 25 female, sleep exposed most of the time. I like to be a free bird. Under the sheets, my privates need to breathe. Today, I learned that you should never sleep exposed. I got up, went to the bathroom, had my morning wee, felt great by the way. I wipe, something felt strange. I look at the tissue and then there laid a dead spider. I smothered a spider with my lips, in my sleep, and killed it, and that's why I will never be sleeping exposed again. What the F?
I've done sober, but it made her so happy it just made me happy. It was fine. Ultimately, it wasn't some horrid, gross thing. I wasn't into it, but it really made her happy, and that made me happy. She asked me about it, and I told her the truth. I am gay. I am not attracted to her, but I do love her. If a physical relationship would make her that happy, I could do that. After all, how many women are with men they aren't attracted to? When the pandemic hit, we had another talk. We discussed that seeing other partners wasn't safe, and for the time being, and the safety of our daughter, we should stop doing so. Our second daughter was born 3 days ago. There were a couple of complications and my wife ended up having an emergency C-section. I realized that I didn't just love her, I was in love with her. I still identify as gay. I'm still not intimately attracted to her, but I have the life I always wanted. I have 2 beautiful daughters. I have a happy little white picket fence life, and if I could do it all over again, I absolutely would. I am a gay man, and I am in love with my wife. I am a gay man and I am in love with my wife. I met my wife when we were both in high school. We grew up in the South, so me being gay wasn't exactly an option at the time. We started dating because it was a good cover for me, and she had a thing for me. I've never had much of a love-making drive. I used to assume it was the pen-up gay, but knowing the terms now, I'm probably on the A spectrum. I definitely like men, but even with the hottest guys I only ever wanted it once or twice a month. I came out about 15 years ago, just to her. She was heartbroken, but very accepting. She asked me to still date her until I found a boyfriend, and I agreed because I did really value her as a close friend. We both agreed we would keep living together because we were young and couldn't afford the rent otherwise. Go out together with friends, the usual, but obviously would start actively seeing other people. I met a few guys, but none that I really wanted to hold down, and she was happy enough coming home to me after whatever escapades she got up to. Then she got pregnant. Everyone assumed I was the father, and all I've ever wanted was to be a stay-at-home dad. I sat her down and told her that if she wanted, I'd marry her if she was the breadwinner. I'd take care of the baby, the house, all that stuff. if she supported us. I explained that I would want the same arrangement we had now, but that this way she could count on having childcare, and I would have the life I've always wanted. She agreed, and we got married in August 2011. Our daughter was born January of 2012. Life was exactly what I wanted and expected. We didn't have tons of money, but we got by fine. She was right out of college and not in the highest paying field, but honestly I was so happy to be a dad none of it mattered. About 5 years ago, we got drunk, and slept together, for the first time in our relationship. We were actually physical. I woke up the next morning and was shocked at how much I didn't regret it. It was definitely not something I would have done sober, but it made her so happy it just... What is the worst thing you've overheard while pretending to be asleep? In college, I woke up to my roommate's bed creaking. I shoot up to see what the heck is going on. There I see some woman on her back with her legs full spread eagle and my roommate just pile driving it like it was his last day on earth. Like a good bro I quickly lie back down and pretend to be asleep. She, in between gasps of air asks, "Is your roommate awake?" He responds, "No, he sleeps through anything." Cut to next morning, I casually get up and turn on my PlayStation and start playing some random game. Roommate's fling gets up and casually comes over and sits next to me. She says, "Good morning, OP." I say, "Good morning." She asks, "Did you sleep good last night?" I said, "Yeah, I can sleep through anything." As the last word left my mouth I immediately realize I blew it. She began a huge flurry of slaps at my roommate while cursing at him. He didn't care because he was too busy laughing the whole time. "See, you're a chubby man." "Yeah, lol, a little. Hit the gym. Men should be in shape." "So I'll see you there?" "Are you calling me fat?" "You shouldn't comment on a woman's weight." "I'm not fat, I'm curvy." "I'm going to report you." "You're going down. The bigger they are the harder they fall, I guess."
What's something that's considered normal that creeps you out immediately? Diversity classes where you are forced to play act being a racist and your coworkers have to figure out what is wrong. Family channels. Imagine having to live your entire life on camera, with little to no privacy without being able to consent for it. Also, to my knowledge, there are no current laws that protect child influencers' income like child actors have. If your content can't exist without your child, it's their job, not yours. Advertising. Especially target advertising. The constant attempt to manipulate you psychologically to make you believe you need something that's only a want. Creepy AF. Open door policies in families. My in-laws just walk in whenever they want and I hate it. When people come to your door and knock or ring the bell and then peer in the window. People making Instagrams for their babies and making captions as if the baby were writing it. Every company creating an ecosystem requiring my home address and credit card and my birthday just to listen to some music or use some software. Not a shred of my identity is unsold at this point.
The amount of time my girlfriend has spent sleeping has made me stop loving her. I sound awful but you have no idea. She always slept more than me. That's fine. Lately it's been just too much. She falls asleep at say 10 p.m. and then wakes up after 12 p.m. Some days even after 2 p.m. Then she takes a nap like 2 hours later for somewhere between 3 and 6 hours. I think my final straw was yesterday. She woke up at 9, then took a 6-hour nap at 11, then after waking up at 5-ish, cleaned for an hour, then took a 5-hour nap after that. She spent 11 hours of her daytime sleeping. I'll get hate for this as well, but it's affected our love-making life. Every time I say I'm in the mood she falls asleep. I don't mean she says, "Not tonight," and falls asleep. I mean she just falls asleep. One time it was the afternoon we both had off and I suggested it. She was excited, went to bed, and I went to freshen up a bit. I came back like 3 minutes later and she was passed out. I get I'm not owed lovemaking but I'm having a dry spell because she just sleeps. I keep telling her this isn't normal and she needs to see a doctor but she refuses. She says I'm controlling because I can't have her all the time. She seems to think it's normal for people to sleep 20 hours a day. I just stopped caring now. I can't leave her but she makes me feel ignored for her bed. "You at?" "Nowhere." "So what you doing?" "Cooling." "Why you sitting by a girl?" "Please stop playing with me. Real talk." "Aw, my bad. Them girl shoes." One time my phone went off during the ACT, but the good news is I had set my ringtone as a recording of me sniffing and clearing my throat. Nobody suspected a thing. This is proof that standardized tests don't measure intelligence because that was smart as heck and I got a 12. Why on earth would this be your ringtone? Baby girl. Hey there. There. Not me correcting yo but how yo day been so far thickens. Yeah and wrong AF at that. Nah, I'm correcting you because I mess with you. If your friends don't do it it's something wrong there. But you're wrong. Lol, you didn't correct me, you incorrected me. Baby girl, there is for like a place or position. There is a book on the shelf. The twins have their favorite pajamas on. They're going to dinner tonight. Lamau, I'm listening boo. Baby girl broke it down for real for real. Need more black women like you. You were so confident, man. I still am.
My husband cheated on me and I'm okay with it. On Friday, I, 26 female, caught my husband, 32 male, with his coworker in our bedroom. I didn't feel shocked. I had suspected it for a while but he waved it away. After the incident, He had been on his best behavior for 4 days and finally wanted to talk to me about it. I told him I was okay with it, and he was shocked. He cried and was angry, asking if I never loved him in the first place because apparently, he did. I find it extremely ironic, given he was the one who's been cheating on me for over a year. To be clear about the situation, I am not polygamous or polyamorous or interested in having a third party in any sense. Our life is nice, we paid off the house, no kids yet, I make enough to support myself in case we get divorced, I just don't want to. I like him, and I don't care if he went on a bus full of street workers, as long as he doesn't bring home some STD. I'm not interested in sleeping with anyone else, intimately or romantically, but I don't mind if he makes love with a dozen of other people as long as he comes at night and sleeps besides me. He has been crying and screaming every time he calls me, because he drove out to the motel after I told him this, saying he hates himself and there is something extremely wrong with me. Update: he's living with his mom, commuting an hour to work, and I've never felt more free.
What's the biggest mistake you've watched someone make in their personal life? My friend chose to have a child with a man who had cheated on her multiple times, while still in high school. Single mother of 3 living in poverty. Gave her parents her $6,000 tax refund to hold on to because she didn't want her abusive ex to convince her to split it with him. Parents spent it all in weeks. My uncle got himself a mistress. Lent her $10,000 he never got back and lost his job defending her at work. Wife served him divorce papers short afterwards. He gave up his house to his wife. So he ended up jobless and homeless, sleeping on our couch at the ripe age of 60. Friend worked hard to gain the credentials to advance his career to his goals. It took 4 months for him to get busted having an affair with a subordinate and he lost all he worked for and ended up losing his license. Have a child with someone who fights them on their parenting style. Also cheated on my friend who was 8 months pregnant. They just got married too. Men of Reddit, what is the most unattractive fashion choice women frequently make? Shoes that are slightly too small so their toes hang off and they look like gnarly bird talons desperately gripping a branch. I hate when they wear flannel and jeans and just stand out in a cornfield perpetually T-posing. Impractical shoes, too much eyebrow work, covering themselves in goat blood. Wearing strappy heels that are too small and leave their toes hanging over the edge. And lip fillers. As a teen in Ireland, teen girls putting on fake tan. It always looks like hideous and makes them look like an Oompa Loompa. Okay. So it's not a trend anymore, but the worst women's fashion choice of all time was those stupid hair bumps. I hated those things. Fake tans make you look like a clown. All the girls in my high school got fake tans for prom and would have looked thousands of times better without them. I personally don't like the trend where they put lipstick around their lips to make them look bigger. They don't look bigger, it makes you look like a child who stole their mother's makeup.